I'm stevieboebi, and I teach teenage girls how to fuck each other. I'm a lesbian sex educator. I make videos about things ranging from how to finger and how to eat pussy to how to deal with jealousy or a breakup. I do it because I believe kids have a right to know about sex before they have it. But there's one topic I've been avoiding talking about for years, even though it's a huge part of my sexual experiences and even my coming out process. Fisting. This is not a joke. If this topic makes you a little uncomfortable at first, don't worry, you're not alone. When I bring up the topic of fisting, even my friends get weird. Have y'all ever fisted?
Oh my god. I don't want to kill the punan.
That's not how pussies work.
You see these hands?
I want to know what you do with your fingers. Do they stay pokey?
Squeeze my hand. That's what it feels like. It's like a hug.
Is it?
Trey, how do you feel about fisting?
How am I supposed to answer that? I don't know.
Hey Danny.
Yeah?
Thanks for helping me film this video.
No problem.
Do you know what it's about?
No, I wish I did.
Fisting!
Really? I'm wondering what my mom's gonna think when she watches this.
What do you think about fisting?
I think that it's something I want to do with you.
Oh my god, stop!
I think it is a topic that not a lot of people know enough about, and I wish that someone would construct an educational video around the
That
topic.
is not what you said earlier.
I just think fisting is such a beautiful, wonderful thing, which is why I'm so confused why so many people are uncomfortable talking or even thinking about it. So I did some Googling and I found out it's illegal to do in porn. And I really wanted to know why. So I asked my favorite queer sex educator and my favorite porn star to come to LA and sit down with me and have a chat about it. I'm so nervous.
Yes, you do it up and down.
Yeah, or they can hold a vibrator to their foot while your hand is inside.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh my god, hello! Hi. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Oh my god. Are y'all ready to teach me about fisting?
Heck yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about why you think fisting is so taboo. So
It sounds extreme, even though it's something that a lot of people do or kind of find themselves doing naturally in their sex lives. But I think anything that's outside of penis and vagina sex is still very taboo in our culture, and I think people understand that sex can be an incredible variety of delicious things as long as everybody's having a good time, and fisting is just one wonderful flavor of sexuality. A lot of people don't even understand how fisting actually works. I think the biggest misconception I encounter as a sex educator is people thinking that fisting starts like this, and you go in fist first, which is not how it works.
and like a duck, not like a truck.
Yeah, so I always say like fisting is basically like extreme fingering. So you can start with like 2 fingers, and if this is a vagina or an anus, 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4th fingers, and you find yourself kind of at the palm and you're adding more girth to what's already pleasurable. And so you can kind of slip in, and then usually at that point, your hand will naturally turn into a fist once inside.
I think we're all, and by we I mean lovers of fisting, we're all trying to make guesses of like why it would make people uncomfortable, and Allison had a really great point.
I think also there are a lot of people with penises that might feel like if they're not as girthy as a fist, there might be some inadequacy concerns there as well. When you add things like hands to sexuality, I think a lot of people might feel like they're being replaced. Same thing with toys. A lot of people can feel insecure when faced with other things that can give a vagina pleasure that's not necessarily a penis.
It's so interesting because when I bring up fisting, some people automatically think I'm talking about anal fisting, but I pretty much exclusively talk about vulvas and vaginas. But obviously I think both of them are so important to talk about. And there are a ton of people that enjoy both anal and vaginal fisting. There are so many ways to enjoy fisting, wow.
Yeah, I often say like the vagina is a cul-de-sac. The anus is a long stretch of open highway.
Fisting can actually be safer than putting other things in you, specifically your butthole.
I mean, we're talking about like the appeal of putting things in our butt, right? Like I think that you have to remember like, you know, some of the most often like hospital ER trips, right, are caused by something not having an end to it, because like vaginas have an end where you can't go any further up and the anal tract doesn't, right? And so like what you have happen is you have people putting things inside that don't have either like a wider flared base that can keep it from going in. And a fist is great because it's not, you're not gonna
You're not gonna swallow
a whole person.
Yeah, being able to play with fingers or a hand is a great way of figuring out what you like penetration-wise without it being inserting some, you know, vegetable that really shouldn't belong in that direction.
I think we can all agree that a lot of our understanding of sex comes from porn, unfortunately. A lot of us think porn is how you have sex, which is false, fake, Not true, not real, not even close. Anyway, if you don't see something in porn, you might think it's weird.
You know, body hair. People look at body hair and they're like, oh, gross. Like if we just like, you know, saw it more often, it wouldn't be as surprising.
I think maybe a lot of people don't see fisting because there's not a lot of it in porn, and why?
Fisting is a thing that feels scary and icky, and I think the result of that is that we see less of it in porn because it's limited, and therefore the mainstream has an idea that this is less popular, less pleasurable, less important to sexuality because we don't see it as much, and so it creates this kind of Ouroboros of censorship around thinking, well, no, only weirdos fist, so why would me and my husband or wife want to do that? And if you got to see things like that in porn of sexy people having a great time, you might be more excited to try it in your own life or think more about it or consider it more.
If the only place you see sex is porn, and porn isn't showing you all the cool sex shit, then you have no idea about the cool sex shit. Do you want to say, like, don't watch videos on Pornhub?
Yeah.
Do it!
Don't.
Do whatever
Pay
you want.
for your porn. Most of the videos around there were pirated. They do not pay the producer performers. The ones that are in there are rare, and they do, but they don't do that much. So if you find something there that you like, please go to the source and actually buy it.
You were saying that fisting is not illegal. You can find it, but...
And it's not illegal. Fisting is not illegal.
So, Jiz explained to me that decades ago, an attorney was hired by Vivid Entertainment to help them not get sued for obscenity charges. Since porn is protected under the First Amendment, we should be allowed to make whatever we want. But to avoid lots of legal fees and possible jail time, he made a list of things he thought could be considered obscene. On this list was fisting, transsexual people, men having sex with men, menstruation, and even interracial? Question mark? Then the list was leaked and actually used to enforce obscenity in porn. So credit card companies and banks think this is actually what is obscene. And a quick way to censor something is to block its distribution, which explains why we don't see a lot of fisting in porn, even though I promise you, lots of us are doing it. So basically, pornographers are scared of getting arrested, or worse, not getting paid. Where are the First Amendment people? You know? They're mad about not being able to be Nazis.
Yeah.
So why the fuck aren't they mad that we can't fist on porn? That is some bullshit.
Do they watch this? There was a study done by the government to find out, like, was porn harmful to society, to individuals? That report came back with no, actually, and there's evidence that shows that it's actually helpful. And
here's the report. Turn the page.
Right?
No.
Yeah. And what we suggest are better monitoring controls so that children don't have access to it, less restrictions for adults to be able to watch and enjoy porn, and sex ed. Surprise. So, right. This is when I get on my bandwidth, like my soapbox about porn is not sex ed, and it's unfortunate that we, without, with the lack of sex ed, we look to porn to give us information, and that's what's kind of telling us what's normal, what looks normal, who gets to have sex, who's sexy.
Exactly what you're saying. Like, the results are often, like, I teach in universities a lot, and I'll have a lot of young men with great intentions who genuinely want to please the girls that they're sleeping with. They are shocked when they find that, coming on their faces without asking is not something that they want, or choking is not something that they want because they see it, or pussy slapping is not something that they want because you see it in so many porns. And it's not to say that the people in the porn aren't enjoying themselves and liking that, but if porn is your only sex ed, you have no idea that maybe
have they ever talked to a girl that they're sleeping with? I mean, ask them if they like
many
it?
of them try, but I think when we think about, like, when we're just starting out having sex,
yeah,
we want to rock their world. We want to be good at it. We want to act as though we know what we're doing.
And pretend that we like it, so we're not, embarrassing the person that we're with.
Exactly, right? We have a lot of our insecurities that kind of we bring into the bedroom with us.
I've never felt that in my entire life.
That's great. I think a lot of people really do. Yeah.
If someone slapped my pussy, I would be like, get the fuck out of my house. Like, I don't care how old I was.
I did not ask for that slap.
What the fuck? So how do you guys feel personally about fisting?
I think fisting is a glorious activity, and I don't think that most people realize how much a body can take, and they forget that you can push a whole human out of there. So a fist is like next.
Okay, I'm just gonna admit that I haven't, it's been a while. It sounds like I'm a confession. It has been a while since I fisted, and the irony is that the last time I was by Allison at a demonstration for like a book release.
Yeah, the release party for Girl 611.
Yeah. Which was a long time ago, admittedly.
The tea has been spilled. Yeah. What's going on?
I think it's just something that kind of just happens. Like, it's gradually like a buildup of someone's fingering me, and then they're like, "Would you like more?" And you're like, "Today, yes, I would like more."
When it is happening, I do love it. It's a great pressure. It's also a really great way to connect with the person that you're with. I have this game where I like to play. You know this game?
Yes, I do.
Try to get your hand back. I got your hand now. Like, I dare you. I dare. Like,
That is so adorable.
yeah.
I love fisting. It's one of my favorite things. And again, it's kind of a special occasion thing. It depends on the compatibility of the partners. I tend to be a fisting top. I've only been fisted once in my life by a very small person with very small hands.
I'm looking for my small person.
Yeah.
I have giant hands. I love fisting. Honestly, I'm not spiritual at all, but the closest to like believing in something was when I fisted. So what would you say to someone who thinks fisting is gross or is like, why would you want a fist inside of you?
I mean, I get it though. I would say you never know what you like until you try it.
So now that you know that fisting is dope, you want to help us make it less taboo, right? Stop cringing when people bring it up. Talk to people about fisting and help normalize it. Y'all straight people talked about scissoring so much, it's basically lesbian pop culture now. So help us, or try it yourself. Happy fisting.